Alcohol was not invented. It was discovered, and it was almost certainly discovered by accident. The process that produces alcohol, fermentation, does not need human help. Leave grain or fruit in a container with moisture and warmth, and wild yeast will find it. Wild yeast is on every piece of fruit, on every grain of wheat, floating in the air. It converts sugars into alcohol and carbon dioxide without being asked, which means that at some point, a very long time ago, some ancient human ate or drank something that had been sitting too long and felt very different than they expected. That moment changed everything. Fermentation is one of the most natural processes on Earth. It predates human life by billions of years. Fungi were fermenting sugars long before there were eyes to see them doing it. The first human encounter with alcohol was passive. Not a decision. Not an experiment. Someone ate overripe fermented fruit, the same way animals eat fermented fruit today, sometimes to the point of visible intoxication. And the effect was noticed. The difference between animals and humans is what came next. Animals eat fermented fruit when they find it. Humans started figuring out how to make it on purpose. The cognitive step from noticing fermented fruit to deliberately storing fruit and grain in conditions that would cause fermentation is not a small one. It requires understanding cause and effect across a time delay. The grain goes in. Days later, something different comes out. Connecting those two events requires a specific kind of observation and memory. Here's the detail that consistently surprises people. The oldest evidence for intentional fermentation may predate organized farming. At Raqefet cave in what is now Israel, archaeologists found evidence of a beer-like fermented grain drink produced by Natufian people, a hunter-gatherer culture, dating to around 13,000 years ago. This is thousands of years before the agricultural revolution. This finding supports what some researchers call the beer before bread hypothesis. The argument is that the drive to produce fermented grain drinks may have been one of the incentives that led ancient humans to begin cultivating grain in the first place. Not bread, beer. This is contested, but the evidence at sites like Raqefet Cave suggests that people were going to significant effort to ferment grain before they were reliably farming it. The oldest confirmed winery, a complete grape pressing and fermentation facility, was found at Arini 1 cave in Armenia, dating to around 6,100 years ago. Grape seeds, grape skins, a pressing area, and ceramic storage vessels, all present and preserved. At Göbekli Tepe in southern Turkey, the massive stone complex built around 11,600 years ago, before agriculture, before cities, before anything we would recognize as civilization, archaeologists found large stone vessels. Some researchers believe these were used for communal brewing. If they were, it changes how we understand why Göbekli Tepe exists at all. Coordinating the construction of Göbekli Tepe required bringing together large numbers of people from across a wide area. They had to be fed, organized, and motivated to do enormous amounts of difficult physical work. Communal feasting and communal drinking may have been the social technology that made that cooperation possible. Alcohol in this reading was not a byproduct of civilization. It was part of the infrastructure that built it. So, when did ancient humans invent alcohol? They did not invent it. They found it waiting for them in overripe fruit and improperly stored grain, produced by a process billions of years older than our species. What they invented was the ability to make it on purpose. The oldest confirmed evidence for intentional fermentation pushes back 13,000 years to hunter-gatherers who were brewing before they were farming. The oldest winery pushes back 6,000 years. And the actual first encounter with fermented food is impossible to date. It predates any record we are likely to find. What we can say is that by the time ancient humans were building the first monuments, sharing a drink may already have been part of how they brought people together. Some things about human social life are older than we think. Like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. I'll see you in the next one.